Okay. Oh boy. Hello, hello. We're gonna try this again, y'all. Sorry for the for any of the issues. This has just been one big pain in the butt, to be really, really honest. But I appreciate everybody who is on, starting to file in and everything. But we're going to continue with this thing. Like I said, for those of y'all who are starting to tune in, of course, hit that like button down below. That would really mean a lot. Like I said, I don't know why it's been acting a damn fool, and it has nothing to do with it's not YouTube. It's not this wonderful platform. It is other stuff that's just being a pain in the ass. That is just not wanting to be kind to me. But like I said, I am going to continue the story, continue the conversation, because I do want to open up the chat line and have a conversation with you guys, and hopefully the reboot, this hard reboot that I just did, is kind, you know what I mean, to us and allows us to have this conversation. Please, please share this feed, let everybody know, any people that have missed out on what's going on, or that are still on the old chat. If you can tell them to hop over on this one, that would be really great. Because we did have quite a bit of souls, whole lot of souls, over 1,000 souls in the chat on the last one. It would be great to have all you guys back on this one as well. But I understand some people are just like, blah, I got other things to do. It's Sunday. I need to sleep and all that. You know what I mean? But for those of y'all who are starting to file in, hit that like button down below. Send those likes all the way up, as always. And we got to get into this story. Like I said, there is this, what we've been talking about, Ezra Blount, is now passed. And it is, oh, no, has now passed. And I'm hoping, like I said, if this does not work out, then I don't know what else to do. I'm hoping that I will be sending in the link here in a little bit. Hopefully, everything will stay according to the plan and will be nice. Then I will open up the links, the video link, and we will have a conversation, because I am a little nervous, because it has been acting very, very strange and very, very wonky, and it's very frustrating, because of course I want to tell you guys these stories. Of course I want to have a conversation with y'all, but for some odd reason it is acting like a madman right now. So yes. So I'm going to see what I can do. Okay? I'm going to try. I'm going to see what I can do. But I'm trying to test the waters to see what happens over the next little bit, right? But of course, this is a story that, of course, has now just been breaking as we speak. People are talking about this even more now. The Associated Press has come out with a story, with an article as well, talking about this. So I'm going to be pulling up a couple things. So fingers crossed. Here's the fingers crossed. I'm hoping everything stays good, because that feed was trash and it angers me like crazy. But as we already know, for those of y'all who are looking at the title down below, Ezra Blount has died at the age of 9 years old. All right. He is a Dallas boy. He drove all the way out with his father to Houston to see the concert with Travis Scott. And now he is no longer with us because he was trampled to death. Okay. So a 9-year-old Dallas boy has become the youngest person to die from injuries sustained during a college surge at the Astro Music Festival in Houston. Ezra Blount of Dallas died today at the Texas Children's Hospital in Houston. Family attorney Ben Crump has said. Now, we already knew that he was placed in a medically induced coma after suffering serious injuries in the November 5th crush of fans during a performance by the festival's headliner, rapper Travis Scott. He is the 10th now. He is now the 10th person who attended the festival to perish. All right. The Blount family tonight is grieving an incomprehensible loss of their precious young son, Crump said in a news release Sunday night or tonight. This should not have been the outcome of taking their son to a concert. What should have been a joyful celebration. Treston Blount, Ezra's father, described what happened on November 5th in a post on his GoFundMe, which we, of course, talked about in the last stream I just did a second ago. But, of course, the Ezra was sitting on his shoulders when a crowd surge crushed them. The father lost consciousness, and when he came to, Ezra was missing, Blount said. A frantic search ensued until Ezra was eventually found at a hospital severely injured. And they were calling him a John Doe because they did not know his name when they admitted him into the hospital. So he incurred severe damage to his brain, kidney, liver after being kicked, stepped on, and trampled and nearly crushed to death. All right. According to a lawsuit his family has filed against Scott and the event's organizer, Live Nation. The Blount family is seeking at least $1 million in damages. Now, of course, we already know the other age ranges, the other victims who have died from the crush and from the stampede or the concert from hell. The age ranges from 14 to 27, but now you can basically say 9 to 17. And some 300 people were treated at the festival site and 13 were hospitalized, including young Ezra Blount. So, Houston police and fire department investigators have said they are reviewing surveillance video provided by concert promoter Live Nation, as well as dozens of clips people at the show widely shared on social media. I mean, we've been seeing nothing but video clips like crazy, y'all. Like crazy. Investigators also plan to speak with Live Nation representatives, Scott and concert goers. Scott and the event organizers are now the focus of a criminal investigation. Scott and the event organizers are now the focus of a criminal investigation. Now, remind you real quick. This ain't Travis Scott's first rodeo on being arrested and seeing criminal charges. He has been arrested a multitude of other times because of inciting riots while he's on stage, acting a fool. We've seen other things where he hasn't been arrested for them, but where he has been on a microphone telling a mosh pit to beat the crap out of a kid because the kid is, quote unquote, allegedly trying to take his sneaker when he's in the mosh pit. Those people beat the kid so bad that the kid had to go to the hospital. A 10-year-old kid, mind you. So the fact that that they are finally saying that he is now the focus of a criminal investigation, in my mind, I'm like, it's about damn time. What took so damn long? Real talk. It's about damn time. Now, I am going to try to do this again, this particular video, because I tried to do it earlier and it was not trying to be my friend. StreamYard was not trying to be my friend. So hopefully today, right now, it will be my friend. Okay? Because there is a video here that I want to show you guys, but there is some stuff that the father was saying here as well. Which I'm going to try to play this video and then show you this article. So let's try this again. Hopefully, StreamYard will be my friend right now. Okay, fingers crossed. All right.
None of us wanted to hear or report. After 6 days on life support, when he was injured at AstroWorld, 9-year-old Ezra Blount has died. Ezra was on his father's shoulders for the Travis Scott show, but he fell and was trampled after his father passed out. Ezra is now the 10th young person to die after getting injured in the crowd surge. ABC 13's Roxy Bustamante joins us in the studio tonight.
Real quick, I'm sorry. I gotta real quick. You got Axel Acosta, Danish Baeg. Hopefully I'm saying his last name right. I'm sorry if I did. Ezra Blount, 9 years old. You got Madison Dubisky, 23. John Hilbert, 14. Jacob Jurenick, 20. Franco Patino, 21. Rudy Pena, 23. Brianna Rodriguez, 16. And Barty Shahani, 22. That is a total of 10 individuals. Like I said, age now ranging from 9 all the way to 27 years old that are no longer here. And I said it in the stream before, but I'll say it now in this stream now. None of these people should be gone right now. All of these people should still be here with their smiling faces and coming back from saying, hey, I had the time of my life. We raged. We did our thing. Man, it was like a movie, y'all. My life was like crazy, yo. I had so much fun. I can't wait to do it next year or the next festival. But lo and behold, you have someone as young as 9 years old that is no longer on this planet. And I said this before, and I'll say it again because, you know, the feed was weird. So I apologize for that. And hopefully this feed will stay strong. But I say this, and I'll say it again countless times. I hope to God that Live Nation, all the organizers that were, all the powers that be that made this concert possible, and Travis Scott and Travis Scott's team are hearing these stories, and they're not bowing out. They're not dodging these stories like this is nothing. I hope that they're taking this to heart, that they're taking this very seriously. The youngest is 9 years old right now. 9. Now, here's the other thing, too. Let me just say, let me rock y'all worlds real quick, too. And I've said this on the show a couple times before, but there were kids younger than 9 at this concert that were sitting ever so comfortably on their mom or their dad's shoulders, having a great time, but they're also being crushed in the crush as well. Toddlers were seen at this event. Toddlers. I'm going to continue, but like I said, the youngest now is 9 years old. And I say this, and I'll say it again. I'm going to keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. I hope to God Travis Scott wakes the F up. Because there are people younger than 9 years old with their lives on the line at this concert.
With more on this sad update, Roxy.
Absolutely devastating news to report tonight, Tom. The family of Ezra telling ABC 13 that he died today. We've been telling you stories about Ezra since we first learned that he was in critical condition there after the music festival a week ago, actually just last Friday. Now, the 9-year-old went to AstroWorld with his dad, Tristan. His dad telling ABC 13 Stefania Coley last week in an exclusive interview that Ezra was a huge fan of Travis Scott and was excited to go see him perform. Tristan Blount spoke with, again, Stefania just last week. Hear what he had to say.
The countdown started. Everything was cool for a split second.
Now, his dad held Ezra high on his shoulders, but when the crowd started pushing, Tristan lost consciousness and Ezra fell to the ground and was trampled. When Blount came to, he went to the medical tent to try and find his son. An officer later showed Tristan a photo.
The picture that they sent me was him in the hospital.
Turner sharing this sympathy to the family this evening, writing, "I am saddened to learn of Ezra's death this evening. Our city tonight prays for his mom, dad, grandparents, other family members, and classmates at this time. They will need all of our support in the months and years to come. May God give them strength. Rest in peace, Ezra." Ezra becomes the 10th and youngest victim of the AstroWorld Festival tragedy. Bahardi Shishani, a Texas A&M student, passed away just last Wednesday. The other 8 victims were pronounced dead at the hospital just hours after the tragedy. Tom, again, this is some news that we did not want to report. In fact, I just shared with one of the journalists who was also out there with me all last weekend that I was praying that no one else passed away, and then we get this news. Heartbreaking.
Indeed, heartbreaking. And like I said, this is a kid that should still be here. Saying that he had the time of his life, that his experience would be something that he'll never forget. And unfortunately, like I said, he is no longer here with us. Sorry, I didn't even mean to take that down. Let me pull that back up real quick. But like I said, this young boy is no longer here. Now, I wanted to pull this up because this is obviously Ezra's father, Tristan Blount, was talking to ABC 13, which is the article that we are looking at right now. Shout out to ABC 13 for covering this like crazy, covering all the things that transpired at the AstroWorld Festival. But it says last week, Ezra's father, Tristan Blount, spoke exclusively with ABC 13 and said his son is a young Travis Scott fan. Now, a lot of you guys might be wondering how is this young boy a huge fan of somebody who makes this kind of content? Well, here's the thing: Travis Scott was doing appearances in Fortnite. He had Happy Meals, or like meals, not Happy Meals, but he had meals and stuff at McDonald's and all that stuff. I mean, he was already catering to a young audience. So when you look at something like this, right, you're not sitting there going, oh, wait. How instantly you wonder, how is this guy bringing in toddlers? How is this guy bringing in toddlers to his festival? But then if you realize dude had a meal at McDonald's. He had a Travis Scott meal. He was doing appearances and concerts in Fortnite. You'd have to go around and find it. But then if you found night performance was happening, you could be all up in Fortnite having a great time and watching Travis Scott perform live in front of you in that Fortnite universe, right? So he been catering. Oh, he was on a cereal box also. I didn't even know that. But see what I'm saying? He was already catering to children, y'all. He was already all up in it, catering to children. Real talk. Real talk. So continuing on, he says he was stoked, ready to go. Tristan said. Tristan held Ezra high on his shoulders, and we already know this. The countdown began to Scott's performance at NRG Park on November 5th. The pair stayed toward the back of the crowd because Tristan said he thought it would be calmer. So he was back. He wasn't even all the way up against the barricades or anything of that sort, nor was he even in the middle of the crowd. He was in the back. And this boy still got trampled on. He, Tristan, the father, still got crushed so hard that he passed out. And he was in the back? Bruh. So, but as soon as Travis Scott took to the stage, he said That's when people started pushing. Tristan lost consciousness, and Ezra fell to the ground at the mercy of concert goers. The 9-year-old was trampled. Now, we already know the rest, right? Tristan woke up going, where the hell? He came to. He was like, where the hell's my son? Ezra, where are you? He is gone. Because he had been trampled on, and at least I'm assuming some medical staff or maybe a concert goer grabbed his son and took him to somebody, and they whisked him away to the hospital. But they were still calling him a John Doe because they didn't know his name. He was obviously unconscious when they found him because he had been trampled to death. He had been trampled within half an inch of his life. I apologize. Let me reiterate that, because little Ezra was still alive. But barely. Woo! This is why I'm so frustrated and so angry about this, because there are so many people that have lost someone that they loved, someone that they cared for. A friend, a brother, a sister, a best friend, a son, a daughter. I mean, just watching Barty Shahani's mother speak on behalf of and giving her own losing her daughter was the most heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. And I pray to God we don't have to relive that again right now. But we are literally going to have to relive that again right now because of Ezra. Barbie girl Tina, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. She says the 9-year-old that passed, his classmates are devastated. I mean, of course they are. I mean, to think that this little boy was thinking, hey, I'm going to go and have a good time. I'm going to be with an icon. I'm going to be with somebody that I absolutely look up to and love his music. Oh my God, Drake, and all these people and all these artists and stuff. I'm going to this festival with my dad. We're going to bond together. We're going to go kick it. This is going to be amazing. Me and dad are going to kick it and watch Travis Scott and see some of our favorite artists together. What a great father and son bonding moment. And then this happens. Just absolutely 110% awful. Absolutely awful. Now, there is a GoFundMe. I don't have it here, but it is pinned to the top of the other chat, okay, the other stream, because for some odd reason, this seems to be wanting to work now. So I'm very thankful for that, okay? I see about 1,200 souls watching the show right now on all platforms. If you can, please do me that solid. Hit that like button down below. Send those likes. If you're watching on YouTube, send those likes all the way up. I'd love to see it go past 500 likes. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay. And of course, if you haven't done it yet, of course, hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. And of course, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, feed the algorithm, help me. That would really mean a lot, because I wasn't planning on doing a show this late. But this was just breaking news, and I felt like I had to jump on and talk about this because this is devastating news, right? Devastating news. Now, I am going to open up the phone lines or the video chat lines, because I would love to hear your thoughts on all this. As we already know right now, this is the unfortunate news that we have right now, which is 9-year-old Ezra Blount, who is now the youngest victim of the AstroWorld tragedy, is also now the 10th victim of this tragedy. Okay? And Mr. T, thank you so much for putting this up in the chat. Again, whoops. There it is. Chat is moving kind of quick, and that's okay. But Ezra Blount, his family put together a GoFundMe account. Obviously, at that time, it was for the medical bills. They still obviously are going to have to deal with medical bills, but I'm sure a lot of it is going to have to do with a lot of it's going to go towards funeral arrangements and the sort as well, so that they can properly send their son. They can properly say goodbye to their son. But like I said, I told you guys I'd be covering this story and talking about this, and I'm angry. I'm sad. And this past week was a very hard week covering this story. And here's another sad piece to it as well. We have Amy in the house. Hello, Amy. How you doing? Can you hear me, Amy?
Pascal, I don't know if I can get this to work or not.
Hello. Amy from Arkansas.
Hello?
Can you?
I can get this to work.
Okay, how about this? If you could hear me, I'm going to open up
Can
the
you hear
phone
me?
lines. I can hear you, but there seems to be some sort of delay.
It's cutting out really bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So I will open up the phone lines here in a second, and then you could just call in, okay? I lost her. Sam, what's up, man? You're on the mic. What's up?
What's good? What's good? I'm calling from London, you know.
Oh, Sam from London. Okay.
Great.
All right. He got the accent and everything. What's on your mind, man? Speak on
We
it.
don't sip tea like that, bro. It's not that deep. No. You know what? I respect your show first and foremost. I'm
Thank you so much.
subscribing. I'm probably gonna join up the ranks as well because
Thank
I
you.
like supporting my stateside people.
Appreciate
We've also been just to give you a little backstory about me. I'm a videographer, content creator out here in London.
Right on.
So I do all the shows. So especially when like the States people come through. So like we just had little TJ come through. We just had Migos and all that stuff come through. So
Word.
but of course, from an experienced videographer doing concerts, I'm utterly distraught for the families that have lost all the kids.
Right.
So obviously prayers to them. But what I can't comprehend is the fact that I've had situations where fans have tapped me on the shoulder and said, yo, like, we can't breathe. Can you get me a bottle of water? A bottle of water. But yeah, so I've had them do that and instant responses. It's just crazy and unfathomable to see how Travis didn't notice that. And I don't want to say he's evil. I don't want to say, oh, conspiracy theory, this and that, but he's not marketable to kids. So the fact that the age range was from 9 or what was it, all ages, like, and people don't understand his concerts. It's, you don't want to blame the parents because the father's probably kicking himself right now, which is, you know, God bless him. I've got a kid. I've just had a kid recently, and so I know how embarrassing it would feel as a man put in that situation. So I don't want to add more pressure to him. But Travis is generally finished. Like, I was just watching Sunday service for Kanye. Kanye can't even save him anymore. I thought he would be able to save him because obviously he's saving Marilyn Monroe or whatever his name is, Manson.
Marilyn Manson, yeah, like yeah.
But I don't know how like. The reason why I wanted to call in is because just to give you that perspective from the UK, we are actually like shocked. Like, we can't. All the Live Nation events are being cancelled. People that know about Afro Nation, which is a Portugal event with African Afro beats and all that stuff that's happening in Portugal, that's most likely going to get cancelled because behind that is Live Nation who runs it. For the third time, it's probably going to cancel because of the COVID, the pandemic, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This is gonna be such a ricochet throughout the industry. So I don't know what your thoughts is. How do you guys feel? How are you feeling, bro? Like this is
Uh,
mad. This is
I mean,
mad.
I feel like for the hours and hours I've been covering this story, real talk. I feel like everybody knows how I feel about this. I'm pretty pissed off. I mean, just to be straight funky with y'all,
Yeah,
I'm angry as hell. I am not happy about this situation. I'm not, especially the fact that regardless of anybody losing their life. Hold on, I am not ready to get you guys yet. Hold up, hold up.
you're getting a hotline bling, bro.
People are trying to call in right now. I'm like, I ain't ready for you yet. I haven't opened up the phone lines yet.
You're
The
getting a hotline bling.
But what I think is this. I'm angry. I mean, obviously I wasn't there. Who am I to say anything when I wasn't there? But when I hear all this, right? When I hear so many different perspectives, when I interview people and talk to people who are actually survivors of the situation, when you see countless videos from TikTok to Instagram to YouTube of people giving their firsthand accounts of
Trust
what
me, it's
actually
4:30.
happened. It is so, it's so easy to lean towards like, what the F, right? It's so easy to turn towards, man, this dude needs to, possibly be thrown on the canceling chopping block. But, at the same time, like, so I'm pissed. I'm angry. And then of course, when you sit there and you see how the Barty Shahani thing sent me over. The Barty
The mom.
Shahani's mother, when
Yeah,
she
that bro,
tore me up.
that tore me apart. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of sniffling. I was crying, like because I see my mother. Like I see my mother in. Remember, like, regardless from being from London, I'm an African. Like, I'm African. I'm from Congo. Like
That's what's up.
we were cultured, so we have a different perspective. When you see another cultured family, such as the Indian mother, crying, you know how that feels. You know the psychology of it. If you saw, she actually was she actually said what she's still alive, like, right? So she's crying and saying, no, my daughter's still alive, in such hysterical context.
Right?
Yo, that's like a stab wound in the heart. And then you look at that and you think, a concert and then a mother crying like that, it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't.
Exactly.
So, but again, when you're social media is all about canceling. I come from an industry where I've worked with influencers and stuff like that, and I'm always trying to have a level head because it's so easy to be swayed by out of context pieces of information. What people need to understand is always, Travis is also a father. He does have kids. They are probably going to school crying and bullied because you're, imagine, like, first and foremost, it is not all right to go and tell another kid your dad's a murderer. So
True.
you guys need to think about that perspective. I'm always about open your mind, be perspective, always have a perspective. I'm not saying Travis should be walking free at all. He needs to, furthermore, stop listening to his advisors and come out publicly in front of talk, whatever, altar, whatever you want to call it, and actually do a press conference and actually generally say, fuck my manager, fuck everybody else. This is how I feel. I feel distraught. I'm heartbroken that another person has lost their lives. I don't have all the money in the world, but I will try to do something because you know what? I don't want to do this Kris Jenner PR saving thing because they're going to leave him. Like,
Right.
Kardashian family, their branding is, we're going to leave you. You're not part of the business anymore, which is crazy. And probably they're going to release a documentary about this later on in life, some exclusive episode.
Oh, I mean, there's going to be some sort of reality show piece of this in there somehow.
Crazy.
They're going to try to save face for sure, as much as they can, because they run a business, right? It's all business. There's no. I mean, it feels like in ways there's no humanity. It is all about the dollars and it's all about the cents. But we do have Lenny with us as well. Hello, Lenny.
Let me big up Red Wave USA's comment as well. Out of respect, Travis Scott publicly vowed never to play again. Like, the comments like that is dope. And hi.
Hello. Lenny, Lenny, hello. Where you calling in from?
Hi, I'm calling from Jersey.
Okay, Jersey. What's up? So yeah, what's on your mind? Speak on it.
Like I'm like just reading the comments in the live, and a lot of people are saying like, why did he bring his child to the show? But in today's generation, it's not like when we grew up. Like they were more faster, and they listened to the music we listened to. And I'm sure his dad like wanted to have a good time with him because like he lived with his mom. That's what I read. And that's probably just like a father and son day out. And I just feel like we need to stop being so judgmental.
Yeah.
Because at the end, I know his dad is probably watching some of these videos, reading the comments, and like it's gonna make him feel even more worse than what he already does.
No doubt.
So I think like we should be more mindful. And I feel like also that Travis's apology was crap and so insincere.
But here it is, though. Here it is, Lenny. Sorry to even interrupt you, but what apology? Where was the apology? What apology?
Exactly.
That's what I think.
The script he read.
I thought apologies. I don't know. Maybe it's in the States. You guys don't say sorry, but I don't know. Not joking.
Well, I mean, we do say lo siento a lot. I mean, we
yeah,
do say
bro,
sorry.
This is mad. This
You
what
know?
he did. What he
It's
didn't
crazy.
do. Should I say?
It's sad.
Yeah. Shoot,
It's disgusting.
Ruben Studdard made a song called "I'm Sorry," so we do say sorry a lot. Okay?
What was he doing? He was doing this, right? He was like, "Oh, my head."
He's rubbing his head, and he's got the black and white video and all that, like, you know, désolé, film. Like, it's just like it pisses me off. It pisses me off because it's like I ain't got time for this. Like, he should have just been like, you know, it's like he should have just put down the video or put down the camera or the phone
And went to the hospital.
Well, that too, but also just say, hey, you know, I'm getting down to the bottom of it. I'm talking to my people. I'm so sorry about this whole thing that went down. You know, my heart goes out to the family. I mean, shoot, I could have written it for him. You know what I mean?
But let me kind of not contest that, but let me ask you guys, for example, anyone who's writing in comments, when have you ever been in a situation where something drastically happens, but there's no manual for you to read or follow in order to do you understand? So if you look at him, he's been locked in his house for a whole week. So he's probably thinking, rather than let me do what we see makes sense. Do you get it? And I mean, so that's the problem. His management needs to tell him to be real, go out there and just say whatever, because at the end of the day, at this point, we can't defend you.
I mean, here it is. I do see what you're saying. I do think he has. Well, I don't think it's not only. I mean, well, him going it probably ain't happening right now because he probably on a whole bunch of Xannies right now. But I will say this too. He probably is with his team and with Kylie Jenner and the Kardashian team, right? And he's probably hearing from all these different people, and he's probably walking back and forth, you know, smoking, drinking, whatever to calm his nerves, being like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Because I need to get this taken care of as soon as possible. And then he's hearing one other person dying, and then another person dying, and then you see what I'm saying? And he's like, it's getting worse and worse. What do I need to do? And of course, you know, here it is. Here it is, though. I'll say this though too. I do give him some props for doing that black and white French film video of an apology. I give him some props for that because he at least stepped forward and did something. He did not disappear like Brian Laundrie's family behind the house and behind the doors of the house and not saying anything. He at least came up and said, "What's up?" He said, "Hey, I'm devastated," even though it seemed forced, even though it seemed fake. He at least stepped forward with it. Did it work? Hell no. It didn't work at all. But at least he tried something, right? It was at least a morsel of something. It did not satiate any of us, but he at least did something, right? We have Kimberly. Nope, we do not have Kimberly anymore. We have Lily in the house. Hello, Lily. Hello, Lily.
Hello, how's everybody?
Going good.
I'm calling from South Carolina.
South Carolina. Thank you so much for calling in. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Yes, I was sad to hear the news as well, but it just had me thinking like, I don't know if you remember that story recently where like the little girl was at the bus stop and the man comes up and tries to grab her, and it was the same thing. People saying, "Why did the mom have her out there alone?" And I think people don't realize like, I don't think the parents are thinking like something really awful is going to happen to my child. It's almost like you can't do anything anymore. So what are people supposed to do? Like we've had shootings even in Walmart. Are we not supposed to go to Walmart? Are we not supposed to drive?
You ain't
I
wrong.
mean,
Yeah,
how far
even here
can
in the
this
UK,
go?
we've got stabbings in the UK, or you can't just walk around and
Yeah.
not get stabbed. It's
Right.
crazy.
You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. Even if you carry a gun, what good is that going to do you when you can get caught off guard and something can happen to you? I mean, what are you supposed to do? Put the gun on your hip and be like completely military ready at all times?
I mean, some
Like,
people are thinking that though, Lily. Some people are getting to that place where they're just like, man, let me just conceal and carry, or let me get my CCW real quick because the world is going down in a barrel of burning cat piss right now. That's what a
I
lot of
mean,
people think.
you could have your conceal and carry, but because I have mine. But the thing about it is, I'd be lying to myself if I said like I just carry that thing around every single place. Like you're running into the gas station, you're not about to armor up. Especially with females, it's very big if you try to put it on your waist and get the open carry. And like you can easily be caught off guard because these incidents look crazy. You're just randomly at a concert, or you could just be randomly in Walmart, and like, especially at a concert, you should not be standing there and then 5 minutes later, you're trampled to death. So this is to me crazy. I don't see what's the justification. I don't even see why people are defending this because there's no defense. There was too many people coming through the gate. They weren't checking anyone. We saw the camera footage. They had plenty of ways to create a reasonable enough entrance barricade to where people don't trample a fence. I've never seen this in my life. They
No
had
doubt.
no type of real security. The police looked like they were just having a party. They weren't doing anything. They're on horseback, which is a joke. You can't get to anybody. You're on the horse.
Can I ask? Can I ask this out to the fam real quick? Like, has anybody has anybody been arrested by a cop on a horse? I'm just curious. Is it successful? Do you successfully pull? Have you ever been pulled over by a cop on a horse? I'm just curious. Has that
I'm from,
ever happened?
I'm from the UK. You'd be surprised. We actually have police officers on horseback. And it's actually
You're telling me that's successful, baby? That's
it's
successful.
mad, bro. It happens.
You over there. Hold
Swear to
on.
God, bro. I swear to God. Like Westminster
Biscuit
Bridge.
needs to take a shit real quick. Hold on. You know what I mean? Like how? Wait, hold on. You know what I'm saying? How does that work? You know what I mean? The culprit's gonna be like down the man running. You
Google
know
it,
what I
bro.
mean?
It's funny. It's
What the
funny.
hell? You're riding around on sea biscuit. Like, come on now. Come on now. I'm sorry. And then when they showed up, Lily ain't wrong. When they showed up, it's like it was after the fact. They're like, oh, whoa. And they show up to all these, these dudes coming through. What are they gonna do on the horse? What are they gonna do on the horse? To
But
stop
then
these
again, it didn't seem like they were even calling for backup. Any other time, you could have one person apprehended. They'll call all these SWAT cars. Nobody even got called to backup. What are the police doing that day?
have mercy.
Can I say two things? Just
Go
want to
ahead,
address in the comments two people. One about Drake and one about when I said something about a manual. Yeah, you don't need a manual to be a normal human being. But when you're Travis Scott, remember all musicians have this persona. You've got Sasha's Fierce, right? And who that is? Who's that? That's Beyonce. You've got all these more alter egos, right?
True.
And Travis Scott is gonna perform with an alter ego. So when I'd said that you don't have a manual to, you don't. Sometimes it's hard to come out of that alter ego in order to be a kind of like a knowledgeable, like human, a normal standard human, and do the humane thing, because you don't know. And remember, it's a business. Your alter ego is making you money. You breaking out of character to then apologize publicly on a press conference without your management and stuff like that. That's not an automatic thought. I'm not giving him benefit of the doubt, but I just want people to have a bit more of an open mind when you're saying these things, especially when you're saying stuff like Drake 2, Drake 2. But can you guys listen to me, every single artist that performed that day? Because I heard that from 10 a.m. it was open, right? And it was a whole, it wasn't just a 2-hour festival, it was like a whole day festival. So if you're dragging Drake, you better be dragging, I heard Lil Baby performed, Master P apparently performed. Who like, so let's say your most angelic local, singer or rapper performed. Oh, you gone?
No, I'm here.
Yeah. So my thing is, everyone who's also dragging Drake, he's a featured artist. Yes, he's very popular, but if Drake was Susie from down the road, would you be dragging Susie the way you guys are trying to drag all those featured artists? Why are you not saying that about apparently Lil Baby? Why are you not saying that about Master P, who apparently said "Don't die tonight" prior to Travis performing? You guys have to understand again.
That's
just
true.
take a step back, look at the whole situation, and at the end of the day, it is Travis. Somebody saying we kick this fool off. At the end of the day, it's Travis and Live Nation, and also the 2 people that were apparently legally allowed to stop the event. Those are specifically who you're going to get more the money from. You can drag Drake too, but if it gets dismissed, it's just a kick in the face. It's just a waste of time. And remember, it's your money as well. It's the family's money as well that's being used to try drag people. So rather than dragging trying to target and sue the featured artists, it's literally Travis and Live Nation. Live Nation have more than enough money to pay for all this.
Gotcha.
And bankrupt off this.
Lenny, what are your thoughts on this?
I was gonna say, I think they're dragging Drake because he was on the stage with Travis when everything went down. So of course they're gonna put the blame on him because he could have stopped the show as well. Yeah, he could have stopped the show as well. So the fact that, and the crowd went crazy when them 2 were performing. So I can definitely see where they're putting the blame on him, because just like he could have been like, Travis, chill, like look what's going on, like. And the fact that they said that they didn't see what was going on is straight BS. Number one, Kylie deleted her snaps. First, she deleted her snaps with the emblem stuck in the crowd. She deleted that one. Then she ended up deleting everything. So the fact that they said that they didn't know what was going on is BS.
I see people saying they went to a strip club afterwards.
No, they went to a Dave and Buster's to go kick it with their family and all that. So I mean, they were still kicking it because it's a Dave and Buster's. So it's like Chuck E. Cheese's, right? But for adults as well. So there's a bar, you can drink, you can do whatever, but it's still family oriented with the video games and the the basketball.
So I get what you guys are saying, Drake. I get it. This is
so not a strip club, but he went straight after that. He hopped right off that stage, marched right into his, into that special black US SUV, and drove off to a Dave and Buster's with Drake and had a grand old time. Not once did he ever sit there and go, "Ooh, I care. Ooh, is everybody okay? What the deal is? How is everything?" He didn't care. And then prior to him going on stage, 5-0 came up to him, or at least this is what the chief is saying, that the chief went up to Travis Scott and literally said, "Hey man, the crowd is kind of wilding out right now. Just letting you know, before you get on that stage, they are really, it's hot out there." Travis was like, "I bet." And he went up and did his thing anyway. So there was already a warning of the vibe, of the energy in the room. And he did nothing. But here's the thing, though. It also is on Houston PD as well. Houston's finest could have easily stopped him and said, "Wait a second, hold on, man. Maybe we need to jump on that stage really quick, get somebody else to just tell everybody to step back, or everyone needs to chill out, so on and so forth, before you go on stage and get all hype." There are so many other things. There are so many other things that they could have done, so many other options, and they did not do those options, and that's where it gets worse.
Can I ask this question? Is it justice if only Live Nation
is it What? Say that
Is there
again?
more? Is it justice if only Live Nation gets sued and Travis?
Woo!
Or
Wait.
shouldn't be-
Is it justice if they are both sued, or if one is just sued?
only if either way, either if one gets sued or if both get sued, is that enough? Shouldn't the police then also be culpable? I mean, because there's people that took selfies at the front. Like, that was crazy, bro.
Bruh, the
Everyone
cops.
involved needs to be sued, honestly, at this point.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody. It, like I've been saying over and over.
Well, also don't forget that video where the police officers who are not licensed or certified paramedics were trying to get one of the victims out and dropped her on her head.
And she
totally
died. That's
breaking
the Barty girl.
protocol.
That's the Barty girl. The girl that dropped was the Barty girl. That's crazy.
Absolutely. And Lily ain't wrong on that. And that is the same girl that is no longer here anymore. Barty Shahani. Now she is no longer here because they didn't follow protocol. They didn't know.
And I don't see the news mentioning that.
No, they are not. They are not. They're not throwing in those details. They're avoiding those details. They're talking about everything else except that. And the thing is that, man, Houston PD dropped the ball big time. Now, here's the other piece too. I've said it before, but I'll say it again right now. Houston PD shut off AstroWorld in 2019 because they had gone 5 minutes over their scheduled time. Houston Finest went over there and shut the power off. Just shut it down. They said it's over. 2019. Now you jump over to 2021, right? When they had 2 years where they weren't able to do anything. Place is lit. Chief of police said he warned Travis Scott about all this ish. Travis Scott goes up there, does his thing. People are getting crushed. There was plenty of opportunity for Houston's Finest to go over to that big lever and just shut the bad boy down himself. And they did not. Why didn't they do that? Why did they just let it go? Keep going. Then let's not forget about this piece. You also had chief of police, right? The chief of Houston's Finest go out of his way to do a press conference and say some ridiculous stuff that he retracted later, which was, oh yeah, there was a guy that was pricked in the neck. There was a security guard that was pricked in the neck with opioids, and he OD'd, and he was revived. He was saved, right, by Narcan. Then a couple days later, he goes, "Oh, actually, that story was not true. He was just hit in the head. That's all." Huh? So you're telling me, like, what? So all this information, misinformation, all these tall tale stories that are coming out of the PD, out of Houston's Finest. I don't know. For me, I automatically go, well, wait, why aren't you telling? Are you telling anything that's the truth then? Or are you just trying to save face on all levels, on all angles?
This makes perfect sense because if you look at the video when the people are rushing in, this police department knows the fire code. They know the capacity of that location, and they could clearly see there was more than 50,000 people storming in. So why didn't they shut it down? Perfect reason to shut it down.
¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué? You know what I mean? We have KP here, and I do have something I want to show you guys. It just reminded me. It's something I haven't shown yet on the show, and it's an interview. But we do have KP in the house. KP, hello.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
So, okay, so I'm gonna just talk for like 1 minute.
Sure.
First of all, I want to send my condolences to, all of the people that lost their family members in this tragedy. Like, this was so preventable. Well, from what I gather from everything, you guys, I honestly believe that they're trying to throw Travis under the bus, and I think it's clear what's going on. So, with Travis being Houston's golden child, like, he gives back to the community, he puts Houston on his back. Like he was even on the commercials for the Astros going to the World Series and stuff like that. Everybody in Houston loves Travis. The problem was everybody that was supposed to be working at AstroWorld went there to see Travis Scott perform. That was the problem. You had security doing drugs. Police officers saw them kids stampeding in. And you mean to tell me you couldn't shut it down? And another thing, you guys, is I don't know if you guys noticed, but Playboy Cardi actually was at that same venue a week before, and Houston police shut down his concert because of his fans rioting outside. So that brought me to ask myself, so why didn't they shut down Travis's festival? Because everybody wanted to see Travis Scott perform. Everybody wanted to go to Astro World. Everybody was waiting for Astro World. This was the third one since 2019. To be honest, nobody should even be having a damn festival. It's a whole pandemic. Like, it's a whole pandemic. Like,
You ain't
and
wrong.
then, yeah, and then like the thing is, guys, like I go to concerts with like all age concerts gets wild. Like all of these rappers fans are wild. These teenagers will lose all morals and respect when they go to these events. They don't care. And another thing is about this festival, I think people need to stop calling it a stampede, like the actual thing. It was a crush. When one person falls, everybody falls. Everybody falls. But the thing was, I asked myself, why the hell do people pick up their phones when something traumatic is going on? You can be helping. EMTs needed to get to people. It took them 5 minutes to get people in and out. Why are y'all recording? Y'all could be helping. You know, like waving them down, like, hey, somebody's down over here. But the first thing people do is record. Why? Houston PD, they could have stormed that stage and shut it down. They could have went to production. Hey, shut it down
She's
right
not
now.
blaming the victims.
People are back
She's
there
talking
dying.
about Houston PD and everything. Just stop. She's not blaming the victims, guys. I'm reading comments.
Yeah, like they really could have just shut it down. Like it's no way you're gonna sit here and tell me you're declaring something a mass casualty and your officers are up there having a good old time doing illegal activity by recording because you're supposed to be securing the freaking crowd, like the festival. That's what you're supposed to do, to serve and to protect. Why are you recording Drake and Travis Scott? Because everybody wanted to see them, and that was the problem.
Yep.
But that's all I have to say.
No, KP, I appreciate you putting in your 2 cents. I mean, that's real talk. I mean, at the end of the day, we had all these people that were like, let's be real. None of those people, even security, right? All those people were going in, and it was like in their head, because at least in my mind, I would think, yo, I'm about to get paid to go see somebody that I enjoy musically, right? That the music that I enjoy. I'm about to go and get paid to go stand around and see a concert of an artist that I actually like. I got some of his songs on my workout compilation on you know what I mean? But clearly a lot of these people were in there not only to scoop a bag and make some money, but let's be real. They were in there because they were about to go see Travis Scott and a lot of other people and a lot of other artists that are involved in the festival. It's a win-win. But instead of them actually doing the job, because the people that were hired were people that were not even qualified, nowhere near qualified to do the job, they go in and they totally forget about that yellow jacket that says security on their back and their chest. They completely forget that they are even there to do a job. They instantly think, oh, I'm a patron. I'm a concert goer, baby. This is dope. Travis Scott is right there. I could throw a rock at him right now, man. This is incredible. Drake? You know what I mean? Next thing you know, they're not thinking about doing the job. They're not talking about what the protocols are of how to take care of certain things when ish hits the fan. They're too busy being a patron.
For an event that big, honestly, they should have required that every security staff member be CPR certified. That's a requirement at many jobs, even factory jobs.
And what did they do? they glossed over all the requirements, all the qualifications that are needed to do anything to
Yeah,
save
but
life.
I disagree. Listen, I'll be honest. If everyone was CPR qualified or whatever, it still wouldn't stop the crush. That's the
True.
point.
No,
Like,
you ain't wrong. If people weren't so self-absorbed, right? Or if they were qualified and they actually took their job seriously, this wouldn't have happened. Or
yeah,
if they hired people and they realized how serious, like they hired people that weren't not just random people, randoms, because it was a bunch of randoms, right? That they hired. If they actually hired people because they were qualified and they did their due diligence, which is doing the background checks and making sure that they had the right kind of paperwork to prove that that person is qualified for that job, then maybe some people we could have spared some lives in this situation.
And
But
it
those
definitely
people are part
doesn't
of the
stop
squeeze
the
as well.
crush. It doesn't stop the crush, but you saw in the video there were several people that were pulled out of the crowd that were passed out, and these security people didn't even know basic CPR, which is deeper than just chest compressions. It tells you how to assess a scene and assess a person to know how to get help. They were just looking at the body. In fact, one of the victims, they stated that they called the police department and asked, was their child on the list of people that they didn't know who the body belonged to? They told them no. And it comes to find out how they found out their child was dead was that they saw the video circulating. And that very video they saw circulating was just a bunch of people standing around looking
okay.
at their son's body, and the
Yeah.
police didn't
And
even
then someone
start
stole
CPR.
something from the floor that belonged to the kid as well. So
Uh,
stealing items of dead people. Yo, it's insane. I think I don't know what you think, Lenny, as well, because you've been quite quiet, but I think the main thing starts from before everyone says everyone, they need training for CPR and everything. I think the main thing starts from Travis Scott doesn't need training to identify that there's medics in the crowd. That's an automatic red flag. So I understand why the frustration. A lot of people say, yo, Travis is essentially the boss of this. If this was a gang situation, he's head honcho, and head honcho calls the shots, right? So if head honcho's choosing to say rage and earthquake as opposed to stop, check if paramedics have got enough access to the crowd, then it says a lot before we start talking about training and all these other things. It's just standard protocol. And people say, what's the difference between this show and previous shows? It's previous shows he stopped what shows because of the shoot or something like that, right? He stopped concerts in order to address someone taking a shoot, but or trainers or whatever, sneakers, that's what you guys call it. But in comparison to this one, he couldn't even stop it because of some red lights. He carried on humming lyrics while he was addressing people who clearly look, passed out. It looks bad on him and his history that he's got. He is culpable. Like there's a sense of accountability that he has to take. It's whether we accept it or not, and it's also whether the families really accept it or not.
Right.
And in this legal matter, whatever he offers doesn't matter because they'll get their offering by suing him. They'll get their just rewards. And I don't know what you think, Lenny, but what's your thoughts?
I feel like the whole thing was just planned. Like, if you really look at everything from the flyers to the advertisements to the stage layout to the whole layout of the crowd, I just feel like it was planned. And I'm not one to get like into the religion thing, but it was so much signs and evilness in that place. And even like in all the videos, the concert goers talked about like how they felt this weird presence and they never felt it before. They went to previous Travis Scott concerts and they never felt that energy. So like, I just feel like from day one when they planned this festival that it was just bad news from the beginning. Like, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
there's no coincidences.
I feel like it was a series of unfortunate events, right? You're putting all this stuff out here, dystopia, you on the other side, stuff like that. It was a recipe for disaster, and then to add insult to injury, have all these people die. on top of all these images and this vibe, it just only pushes that thought, like what Lenny's feeling right now. It only pushes that narrative of, man, there was some really demonic stuff going on here, and now you got 10 people, age range from 27 all the way down as young as 9 years old, that are dead because of just the energy, right? And I did interview a survivor by the name of Liliana Lopez. She talked about that too. She said as soon as it went down to, the countdown went down to 1, the energy in the room, the energy in the area, she said just the energy changed. The vibrations that were going on in the vibe that was going on in surrounding the concert goers just completely drastically changed. And so it's I feel like it's something that we can't ignore, right? It's definitely a piece of it that adds to the craziness that is this festival and the tragedy that happened. But I do want to show you guys this here really, really quick. And this is a clip from News Nation. They had an interview with the fire department, right? And they went out there and they had something. I read it in an article, but I think it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth. Than oh shoot! Well, real quick before we do that, I got to do this. Thank you so much, Eden2319. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Thank you for addressing what's going on. New sub, but I really appreciate the conversation. Much love from Alaska. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much for the support. And again, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. One of the largest super chats we've had on today's chat. So thank you so much. But real quick, I want to show you guys this. And of course, I have to say this. I see 2,000 individuals, 2,000 souls watching this show on all platforms. Do me the small favor. Hit that like button past 1K. I'd love to see it hit 1K before the end of the show. That would really, really mean a lot. So keep hitting that like button down below. Like I said, it's 11 my time right now. I should be asleep getting ready for tomorrow morning show, but I'm here talking to you guys about this breaking story.
And Pascal, make sure you give a shout out to the GoFundMe pages as well for the victims.
Yes, the GoFundMe the GoFundMe link. If Mr. T is still watching, if you can repost that again, that would be greatly appreciated. Of course, we do need to show some love and help towards the Blount family. 9-year-old Ezra Blount is no longer here, and it is devastating. But let me show you guys this video because I want to show you guys this. And this just confirms how messed up and how ill-prepared even security was at this festival. Let's take a look at this, y'all.
Be unapologetic, and I've already tried to be silenced, by the way, by city officials, even today.
In this case?
Yep.
Who's silencing you?
I'll get into that another time, but I will tell you I won't be silenced. And what I've continued to tell people is that I will tell the truth as I have the information. The families are owed transparency, they're owed the truth, and they're owed not only the facts as they're presented, but be able to understand, because we don't have the facts. I'm not investigating the criminal investigation. What I can say is on behalf of the firefighters and paramedics, what the experiences they have gone through and what they had to do. There were 4 firefighters in emergency operations about a mile outside the perimeter. And if not for their actions, I believe they saved lives because they listened to radio traffic. They heard that something wasn't right. They took it upon themselves to self-dispatch Houston Fire Department resources. Well, Houston Fire Department absolutely has the ability, absolutely has the skill and the knowledge to ensure that in people's worst day, we're going to do everything we can to make sure we get to them, and we're going to save as many lives as possible.
Marty, it doesn't make sense to me why someone would not want to hear all voices, especially those coming from the fire department in an investigation like this. You don't have to say who's telling you not to speak, but why would somebody tell you not to talk about what you've seen and your experience?
Well, that's a great question. I am absolutely okay with the truth. What I've told people consistently is that the information that we're provided is steeped in objective truth, not only through records, through information, but I think the families are owed it. And if nobody else has done this to the families yet, I want to go on record and say that I want to apologize to the families that have lost people. And I don't know that an apology is going to do anything for the suffering that they're dealing with, but it's about time that people actually evaluate the situations that are going on, be truthful, so that it never happens again. And so what I applaud Governor Abbott, and I want to thank Governor Abbott for focusing on this issue, because this is not a partisan issue. This is a life safety issue.
What's the
If
ugly
people
truth?
aren't willing to talk about the truth, I don't know what.
What's the ugly truth here?
The ugly truth is people died. The ugly truth is tragedies sometimes cannot be prevented, but sometimes they can. And I understand that there is an investigation, and I am looking forward to understanding what it is, because in the fire service, we understand that incidents happen and we do debriefs, we understand communication, we understand the breakdowns, because you can't learn from the tragedies to prevent them in the future, then you're not doing your job. And
No,
before,
I don't approve of this guy.
So again,
Cancel. No. Guys, before this is one thing I always say. It's all, be careful. He might be giving you good vibes because he's saying things, but go research who Marty Langton is. Research who his firefighting union is. Research what racist institution he went to be a part of in 2020. Go research. Like, one thing I'd always do, I don't like listening to people who act like they're saying the right things so that they can piggyback. He's a Republican racist. Check it out.
Gotcha. What
There
I
you
was
go.
trying to get to,
Play it
what I
back.
was trying to get to towards the end of that clip was basically what I was trying to say is this.
The people are being
They were
silenced.
basically saying, hold on one second, Sam. So what it was basically saying is that AstroWorld organizers would not give firefighters a radio. Instead, only a list of cell phone numbers when they arrived to help. So Langton, or Marty Langton, was basically talking about this situation of why they were trying to basically silence him because of his anger towards this outrage of what has gone down, where the fire department has gone up trying to help people, trying to get information, trying to get radios so that they can be in contact with security and law enforcement and, of course, medical staff. And none of those people received anything of that. Now, I don't know his background politically or anything of that sort, but from what he was saying, right, outside of that, this is what happened literally at ground zero, at what was going on, right? Fire department went up and they're like, oh no, we just have a list. We just have a laundry list of cell phone numbers. So if you want to get in contact with somebody, here's the laundry list of cell phone numbers. None of these guys got any radios. None of them. So regardless of his political background and all that, that's basically what he is talking about in this particular situation, right? So that's what I was trying to show you guys with that. Okay.
No, you got a good point. You got a good point.
So I'm just saying, because I mean, I don't know his political background at all, but he was basically talking about how they went to ask for radios and they did not receive any radios. So of course he's sitting there going, well, this is effed up. I'm not cool with this. I'm going to talk about it. So on and so forth.
Do you feel as if this is where corporations that are associated are going to distance themselves by picking up on things like radios? They are inquired about radios, they didn't get any radios, so it's not our fault. This is the problem I'm noticing with an event like this. Like,
any person, I do think that any person in this situation is going to try to find any excuse, right? Any excuse to find a fall guy. At the end of the day, they're going to try to find some sort of scapegoat, some sort of fall guy. Travis Scott is going to try to find a fall guy, but what sucks is that he is going to be the fall guy because his face, his name, and everything revolves around AstroWorld, Travis Scott, and this whole festival. So when it comes to all of this, like even Live Nation, even the security and the medical staff and all the people that were involved, they're all going to try to find some dude or some person that's going to take the fall, period. Right?
That's fault.
But we do have Rondale on here as well. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Rondale. Hi.
Hi. So what's on your mind? Speak on it.
It's a lot. I was trying to wait until your attorney got on, but I can't hold it in.
Go ahead.
I saw in the comments someone was saying that Travis said he paid for the funerals. He never reached out. They don't want his blood money. My thing is that whether he reaches out or not, at the end of the day, they should not accept the money from Travis because there could be some type of way, if they accept it, that it might prevent them from being able to sue. And I just don't want that to happen because accepting funeral money is not enough. They need to sue for mental distress. They need to sue for a whole bunch of other reasons. So suing is going to get them money anyway. So you can call it blood money, call it whatever you want, but that money is what they need. Another point that I want to make is I'm sure there's going to be different amounts given to other people based on their injuries, whether it may be physical, mental. Another point that I wanted to make was people that rushed the gates and that were caught, are they going to experience any charges against them? Are they going to have any kind of penalty? Because not everyone was caught, but I do see a lot of people were caught. Another thing that I was thinking was Travis is indicating that he's going to refund everyone. Is there a little clause in there too, where if you accept the refund, you can't sue? Speaking of deleting everything, deleting videos, deleting his posts and everything. To me, that's tampering with evidence. So I'm not sure if it can be used against him in court because think about it, when something like that happens and it's pertaining to the situation, and he's out here deleting stuff, and we all know he's deleting stuff. Yeah, that's not a good look. I got a couple more things, bro. I'm sorry, it's my first time calling in, so I'm on fire. Another thing is COVID exposure. Someone said earlier, KP said earlier, she was mentioning about the pandemic. My question is, we're talking about how 10 people died. Who knows? It could be more. Because all those people that were there, who's to say that they didn't get COVID? Because they weren't checking anybody's cards. They weren't checking anything. So who's to say that no one gets COVID and dies from that? That is very serious. So we might be looking at definitely more deaths than what is out there. Another thing is, can others sue? We're talking about the families who lost, their loved one lives and everything. We're talking about people that were sitting down there and they got hurt. But what about the workers? What about the workers, as in like the paramedics who were there and they witnessed all this and they went through all that chaos and they were traumatized? What about all the people that were hired under the security? You know what I'm saying? That got pulled off the street, didn't have any credentials or certifications and everything. What about them? Because they did not expect to be there like that. I remember watching your video and I remember someone saying something about how they didn't even have training. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even have training. They wasn't even like told what to do until the day of. So and they had like a makeshift training session on the day of too. What about those people? They also experience. Oh yeah, no, I was thinking about going to law school. By the way, yeah, you're right. I'm reading the comments too. I'm just saying, like, and none of this none of this makes any sense. And what I want to ask your attorney when they get on is, like, were any contracts breached? And like, what about filing for injunction relief? Because, like, because attorney Benjamin Crump stated he wants to make a change. And what is it called? Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to think. He wants to make a change in the music industry. So my question is about the injunction relief, because maybe this could set what's that word? Set a stage on how everything else is going to be taken care of, every single concert. See, me, I've only been to a concert where they had seats. I never been to a concert where I could stand up. So, I mean, I'm just saying. So I'm just saying, like, for concerts in general, maybe this will set the stone. And you ever heard of, and I don't say this word right at all, ever. It's called case precedents, something like that. Never say it right. So maybe there could be some kind of injunction relief or some type of relief where when this happens, it will set that stone stage where it never happens again. And if it does happen again, they will be penalized based on the outcome of the what is it called, of the cases for right now. And brother, I'm done.
I think that when it comes to, and thank you, Rondell, for your thoughts on all this. I mean, there's a lot, right? There's a lot to unravel. There's so much to unravel right now. But I will say this though. Yes, Travis Scott, all the organizers of the concert, and that's everything from medical to security to the actual concert promoter themselves, Live Nation. They are going to be looking at some serious lawsuits on so many levels. It's not only just somebody who actually broke a pinky toe, right? Or has broken their arm or anything of that sort, or passed out from being crushed within an inch of their life. There are going to be people that are going to sue the hell out of them just because they saw somebody on the ground, right? Or were heavily traumatized for seeing somebody die. You see what I'm saying? So it's not only going to be 150 people sending out a lawsuit. It's about to be a couple thousand that are going to be sending out lawsuits. And it's going to be not only just people who lost their loved ones and people who have been injured, but also from just people who are emotional distress, or any of those things that revolve around PTSD from experiencing what they experienced, right? And there's a lot of people that were crushed, that were frantic, that did not pass out, that are still frantic because they thought they were going to die. So all those lawsuits are going to be coming towards everybody. And a lot of them are going to go straight towards Travis Scott because he is not Live Nation. Live Nation is a large entity. I mean, you're going towards a big company, right? It's like going after a big tobacco company, right? Trying to take down a large entity. And I think a lot of people are going to go, well, that's pretty big. But then there's Travis, and he's only one person. Let's sue Travis. I mean, that's what I think. Instantly, I'm thinking, well, yes, he does have a lot of people, and he's got some lawyers, and he's lawyered up and all that. But I feel like people are going to automatically think the easier route is going to be Travis, not some huge entity like Live Nation.
Hey, Pascal, you mind if I say something else? Just one more thing.
Please.
I was thinking about this, and I never see anyone mention this on your show. So, the security guard, bruh, when we gonna ever find out? Is he investigated? You know what I'm saying? Because
what's his name? You know what I'm saying? What's his name? And
But
who was he? And did he ever get those numbers? That's what I'd like to know too.
I want to know, like, about the Poke. Like they came back and changed the story. Man, when that first came out, I remember I commented on your page and I was talking about how I mentioned how the chief was coming out saying that he was poked, and I'm like, man, now they're pointing fingers and everything. But the point is that since the story changed, he needs to be investigated. That whole thing needs to be investigated, and it needs to become public knowledge because it was public knowledge when it happened. So we need an investigation done to exactly what happened. So if he was out there doing drugs, we need to know that. If he was out there doing something else, we need to know that. You brought it to our attention already. You made a mistake. I get that it was a stupid mistake because you shouldn't be in, that role and coming out like that. That's crazy. He should have actually looked into it before he came out with that information. All I'm trying to say is that needs to be investigated, and we need to know what really happened. And I'm done. I'm logging off.
Okay, Rondell, thank you so much for hopping on. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, actually, I'm starting to kind of think like Rondell now. I think who would be held liable, wouldn't it be whoever is the owner of that location? Because when you have the city permits and all that, you have to get that place inspected. Isn't that the responsibility of the owner? Because I don't think Travis owns that place.
Hold on one second. We do have somebody on here, and she was just about to say something. Kimberlyn, hello. You said fire marshal?
Well, the fire marshal, first off, I want to say my prayers go out to these families and everyone who was there. Honestly, I spent years in the music industry and I spent over a decade in emergency medicine. Okay. The fire marshal had the right. First off, there was no egress plan. So there was only, from what I was hearing from people, there was only one way in and one way out.
True.
There should have been several egress exits, emergency exits.
Interesting.
Yes.
So that's on the fire. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's on the fire marshal.
Oh, before the show. And see, Travis has done plenty of shows. He knows when you put your name on anything, you need to be real sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's.
Facts.
In my opinion, I think it was about money, saving money. As far as security, not everyone has BLS, which is basic life support training. So not everyone knows how to do CPR. And if you don't know how to do CPR, you don't even attempt it. And think about this, the people that are trained in medicine, those people, it was a mass casualty. So the chaos was insane. So imagine trying to control that scene and taking care of those lives. I just praise God that more people didn't die. Because if you've never done a mass casualty, you literally look for signs of life, do what you can, and you go on to the next one. That's what you do.
Thanks.
And that's what they did. In my opinion, the fire marshal, when it was all being set up, they should have made sure that everything was set up properly. As far as the police and not having enough people, y'all, we're in a pandemic. We don't have, I live in a beautiful mountain town. We don't have employees to do anything at my grocery store, at anywhere, just like everywhere else in the country. Those police officers are paid to do off-duty jobs, just like the medics, the EMTs, the doctors that were there. Those are all off-duty gigs for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're responsible for their areas. And Travis has done shows before. He knows how it works. It's called Moral Compass. Sam, I appreciate what your opinion, but he had a lack of moral compass. Because
I agree.
he could have, after Dave and Buster's, look, I did a decade in emergency medicine. Okay. He could have went to the ER because they were still at the ER. Okay.
Yep.
So I understand he's got his handlers. He needs to forget what they're telling him and do what his instincts tells him. And I think that's what he's doing. His instincts are telling him to hide right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Can I reply to that?
So
yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Go ahead, Sam. I'm
Yeah, no,
sorry.
Kimberly, I agree with you. I don't think again, we all understand that this is a grave situation. Like there's no one side. Well, should I say there's no two sides. It's only really it's just about picking out who it makes sense to be culpable. I think both are. I think, as I said, Travis Scott, he lacked empathy. He didn't show, like, from the way he responded in his so-called apology, the way he maneuvered after the event. As I said, I can understand it from an observant point of view that he had this ego and he only cares about himself. And from his previous situations where he stopped concerts for his shoes, from when he's had concerts before and he's been arrested, we know that Travis is he's inept, or he's unable to transition from someone who's ego to empathy, and that's what's killing him. And that's what's killed 10 people now. So, when you speak about all those situations, such as the fire exits, that's not, obviously, I don't want to say it's not Travis to absolve him. It's not Travis, it's Live Nation, essentially, because Live Nation is who pays Travis. They have a permission. Travis, as an artist, because I come from film and concerts and events, the artist sells permission to use his name in order to put on an event. So they're both culpable because of that transaction. Live Nation is a multi-billion-pound company, and they put infrastructures in place. And Pascal, you said something about you would sue Travis. I wouldn't sue a broke person. I would sue someone who I know I'm going to get money.
Oh, I
from.
wasn't talking about me personally.
I'd
be going after everybody.
Exactly.
Every single person would be catching cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
King Kong ain't got ish on me. Trust. But I feel like any other average Joe that was there that is probably going, hey, I just want what I feel is rightfully mine, right? Which is to grab a bag for my emotional distress and the trauma that I went through. I feel like a lot of people are going to think that Travis Scott is low-hanging fruit in comparison to Live Nation.
Drake and the other in comparison to Drake and the features and all that stuff. That's what I was trying to say. And that's, just Kimberlyn speaking. You've pointed out all those things that make it reasonable for everyone to sue both infrastructures, because his name, he knew what he signed up.
Exactly.
Do you understand? So that's why I can't absolve him. I can only understand, in my mindset, if this was me and this was my event and how it happened, I would be crumbling right now. I'll be hiding when really I should be empathetic and forget the Kris Jenners and the people around me trying to convince me to do PR stunts, and simply say, look, guys, I fucked up. Like, this is this is on me. I don't know how to solve this. But I will be consistent in the media in order to show that, that's how you should be doing it. But
I just have one more thing to say, and then I'm going to leave you guys. I will say this, something about them Kardashians, because every man that gets hooked up with them seems to lose their damn mind.
I was waiting for somebody to say that. I was waiting for somebody to say that in this conversation at some point.
Look, and look at now they're leaving him out to dry. I heard Kylie snuck home on a different jet in the middle of the night. They're leaving him out to dry, just like they do. And so the sad thing is that, it's that old saying, you lay in bed with dogs, you'll get fleas. Well, he's laying in bed with those Kardashians, and it's not serving him.
No, it's not.
No way whatsoever. Yep. So I pray for Travis, and this is a new thing for me, y'all. I have been following this since it happened, because Houston's my hometown, and I remember AstroWorld. I was there as a kid, and I am praying for him because, you know, he's broken. We know he's broken, but these families, imagine their losses. You know, there's no amount of money that can bring your loved one back.
No.
You know, and as someone I have seen in my career, probably close to 5,000 deaths, I can never erase that from my mind. So I can't imagine the regular people that were there that aren't used to dealing with death. And then my heart goes out for those EMS guys, man. They were set up to fail. They were set up to fail. They were counting on the promoters to do their part, and they didn't. So, you know, there are a lot of people that are going to be responsible, but unfortunately it's going to be Travis. You know, his name, he needs to get rid of that baby mama. Shit is what he needs to do.
Hey, Miss Kimberlyn.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for you, since you said you have experience in the medical field.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that video where the police officers were trying to help a victim out and they dropped them. Do you have any comment about the protocols and why they did it in that manner?
Well, you've got to understand, you've got mass chaos. Police officers are not all police officers are trained as first responders. So they're just literally trying to help. They're covered under the Good Samaritan law if they're not EMS responders. They just were trying to do something. So I don't think it was intentional. You know, they just were trying to do something, you know? So I don't know. I don't know if the liability, I think they're covered under the Good Samaritan law. I really do. The Good Samaritan Act. I think they're covered.
Interesting.
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
Do you think that Travis Scott is really done, or do you think like this is gonna blow over eventually and he's gonna continue doing what he's doing?
Is this towards Kimberlyn or
Anybody, any of you?
Oh.
Well, you can answer.
I'll let Sam answer. Oh, let me let
No.
let me let Kimberlyn answer first, because she's got to jump off. So
yeah.
God's honest truth, I think in about a year, everyone's going to forget about it, except for those families. Because the bottom line is we live in a culture where people want instant gratification.
Yes.
So if Travis puts out some new beats or some new tennis shoes or whatever, they'll forget. You heard the young lady earlier. She loves Houston. Houston loves Travis. Well, Travis is about to find Houston's going to turn their back on him, because everyone's trying to deny that they're responsible. And it's sad because people lost their life. And I'm going to just call a thing. He opened a porthole to hell, and those people were just subject to those demonic things that were there. So, you know, we living in some hard times, y'all. You just got to praise Jesus and keep armored up and stand, have some values. I think that's the problem. Nobody cares anymore. You care for a minute and then you forget. I mean, come on.
Yep. I totally agree with her. And this is why I have a problem with people like, they're downing the parents, but these same people that do that, they go home and listen to this music. They're not going to stop.
They're sitting there, oh my God, clutch my pearls, and then out like a light. I'm serious. But they're still clutching my pearls. R.I.P. such and such name. And then they're still rocking his stuff when they're at a bar or out when they're cooking or when they're whatever. You know what I mean? It's the same old thing. Kimberlyn, you are not wrong. I mean, in about a year, this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It'll be like, remember that time when that thing happened and the thing and the thing with the Travis thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's a superstar now. It was a sacrifice to Illuminati. But Kimberlyn, thank you so much for being on. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Y'all stay blessed. Sam, say hello to my beautiful London for me.
Don't know. I will do. No problem.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Love it.
Who was the one who asked that question? Was it Lily or Lenny that asked that question about?
I asked it.
Okay,
Lynn
so
Rennie.
Lily, what are your thoughts on this? And I'm going to let you go. Last thoughts. Should he be? Is he going to be canceled, or do you agree with Kimberlyn? What do you think?
No, he's not going to be canceled because basically every celebrity's had a cancelable moment. None of them are canceled. They can't be canceled because they have a machine behind them that'll make sure they don't get canceled. They have a lot of money invested in these artists. And I'm definitely going to hop off here, but I did have a quick question for Sam. I know
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
said he was familiar with the music industry a little bit, and I'm just wondering if you could ever imagine something like this happening at a normal concert. Is this normal? Like, should people expect to have to keep this type of safety in mind for like a future concert? Like, is this to be expected?
I want to see how they handle the Coachella event that you guys have. It's Coachella in, where is it?
Coachella.
In States, yeah. I want to see how they handle that because I think insurance policies are gonna skyrocket. That's for sure. So any artist that wants to do a crazy event like this, they just insurance is gonna be something that they have to basically prioritize. Security will be tight. So over here in the UK, we have a lot of events that always get shut down because we're smaller and more compact. So police are more on shutting us down. So they will take this and make our lives a little bit more crazy. So in terms of lessons learned, definitely there's going to be lessons learned. In terms of seeing something like this happen again, there will be because maybe because there will be something, but maybe not as catastrophic because remember we've just come out of the pandemic, and so the hunger of the kids that are going to university, that kind of we haven't experienced party atmosphere because we've been in a pandemic. It was at maximum at that AstroWorld event, so that was a whole different world. That was a whole different utopia, to quote Travis Scott. And he took everybody. He influenced people. People were depressed during the pandemic, so his music affected him, affected a lot of kids. So that energy is what he drew out at the event. So in terms of this happening again, yeah, it's gonna be a while for something like this to ever happen again. I hope I've answered your question. Is that all right? What's your thoughts?
It was Lily, but and thank you for the question.
Thank you so much. I'm praying
Thank you.
for the families. Thank you, Mr. Pascal. Y'all have a great show. Thank
No,
you so
thank you.
much. It's a wonderful show. Please hit the like button.
Thank you, Lily. I appreciate it. But real quick before you disappear, yeah, I want to throw in my 2 cents on that question. You threw it to him, but you didn't even ask my ass. But I'm going to answer it anyway.
It's Pascal's show, bro.
I don't agree with Sam. I honestly think I don't think that things are going to be. I think they're going to be putting in some protocols for sure, but I don't think that they're going to approach things. I don't think it's going to be as different as we like to think it is. I think that Coachella, for example, is a completely different concert experience than AstroWorld. You see what I'm saying? It's 2 completely different energies, right? It's 2 completely different vibes, right? So in my personal opinion, I don't think, and we've all been, I mean, I've been to a bunch of concerts and all that. I'm not sitting here saying that I've ran a concert before, but I've emceed a lot of events and also have performed in a lot of concert festivals as well. But I will say that I think each one has a different vibe. Each one has a different energy. When you have something as volatile and as rage centric as AstroWorld, I think, yes, they're going to approach things a little bit differently for sure. I think it's also, hold on, I'll let you say your thing. Let me say mine. But I think that it's one of the things that I find interesting is that, or that I find that's going to happen here very soon, is that they're going to take that look, right? They're going to see this situation that happened and realize, okay, when things get a little over capacity or almost to the limit, if not more, they're going to have new procedures for sure. Absolutely. I think also when it comes to different things, right? When it comes to different festivals, I think the same thing's going to happen. They're going to be like, well, it's Coachella. We haven't had any of these kind of issues before. Okay. Or they're going to look at the people that they have as artists that are a part of that particular festival, and they're going to tailor their festival in the right way so that people are safe. But Sam, you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, also because he's from Houston, so rules were bent. That's
true too. That's true too. But I mean, here it is though too. Okay, so like I'm from St. Louis. The show is the Nelly is from
Louis, what, Caribbean islands or
St. Louis, Missouri,
Yeah.
middle of America. Middle of America is boring as corn on the cob. But here it is. Nelly, for example, is from St. Louis. All right, say Nelly did a show Nellyville every single year, right? And it's always packed to the gills, right? I feel that, I don't know. In my mind, I don't think that there would be that much leniency just because he's from, it's being done in his own hometown. Do you feel me? But at the same time, it seems like that's what's happening over in Houston, which is jacked up and messed up. But yeah, he has a different vibe. Like I said, it's a different vibration. It's a different energy. And I think that from this point on, okay, I will also say this too, Lily. AstroWorld Festival is done. AstroWorld Festival is done. Done. Stick a fork in it. It is done. They're not doing any of them anytime soon. Unless they do something drastically different. Or if he jumps into the metaverse and does them all through virtual. I don't think we're going to be seeing any AstroWorld festivals, or he is going to rebrand it as something completely different. But when he does do that, or if he does do that, the way he approaches it, he's going to do exactly what Kimberlyn said. He's gonna cross every single T and dot every single damn lowercase J up in this piece. Lily, I do appreciate you coming on. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Lily. Yeah, great question. Thank you, Lily. I guess she's gone. Lenny, what are your thoughts on this?
Like the festivals like that I know of, like you said, Coachella, they're an open field. So like the fact that he called it like a festival, that's the difference. Like concert and festival is like in an open field, like no like barricades really. Right. So that was another like weird thing as well. And isn't he on the lineup for that as well, Coachella?
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
I mean, I would assume not anymore. Why would
you never know what Hollywood?
Right? Yeah, Hollywood. I mean, you never know, but I don't think that he's going to be doing it anytime soon. I'm sure that he's going to be on the chopping block of like, yo, take a year off. Take a year off, Travis. We'll see you next year. You know what I mean? Because I don't think anybody's going to want to go see him. They're going to be scared of dying.
Yeah, because I was going to say, what's he going to do when he does finally come back? What's he going to do? Just make sure nobody dies at the front. Like, that's insulting. It's right. Like rubbing salt in the wound. So
the experience is going to be different because he's going to have his own PTSD. If you really think about it, his own nerves and anxiety, because he wants to make sure that everybody's safe. And God forbid if he makes one bad move, makes one wrong decision, turns his back away from the crowd, that somebody's going to get hurt, and then he's going to be laid to blame for that person being hurt or that person dying. God forbid if somebody dies in his presence again. That would be terrible. But I think, if he's going to go and perform anywhere, it won't be anytime soon. It might be some random pop-up surprise performance. But go ahead, Sam.
No, just to say something wild. People are going to expect, let's say the suing is successful. Yeah. And then he goes back into doing this again. There's going to be people that want to go to his event because they want to do you understand? Like they're gonna be like, yo.
They're like, damn, this dude scooped the whole damn bag. Like, you know what I mean? Man,
you see those memes of people jumping on top of cars, like cars, like
yeah, they see a Tesla, they just jump right in front of it. You know what I mean? In hopes that, oh, my leg, my hip, my back.
My leg.
You know what I mean? But that's crazy. But Lenny, Sam, thank you both for being on. I really do appreciate it, y'all. Seriously, thank you so much.
Love your show, bro. I do graphics as visuals as well. So Pascal, slide in we'll chat on Instagram or whatnot. I followed you.
Okay.
Show, so
man, I holler. I'm looking for some graphics for show. Like real talk. I'm looking for some graphics. So let's chop it up. Real talk.
Thank you for having me, and your show's amazing. Keep it up.
Thank you, Lenny. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? You guys, people like you guys keep the show, keep me motivated. So I really do appreciate the support and the love. Thank you guys. Y'all be blessed. But yeah, guys, that is the show. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who came on. Man, y'all are amazing. I really do appreciate it. You know what I mean? What a great conversation. What a great chat. What a great conversation today, or tonight. And you know, like I said, it's still like really, like I've said before, I'm still really pissed off about the news that we had earlier, and what we're talking about today or tonight, about Ezra Blount still not, you know, of course, not making it and all that. And my prayers go out to my prayer goes out to his family, because I can only imagine what they're feeling like right now. This is their first night without their son alive, and I can only imagine how much pain they're going through right now. Ivan Jr., thank you so much for $5 super chat. The news won't tell the subfloor was not interlocked. The floor sunk in the center. You can see in the videos, type of floor was slippery. That is interesting news too. I'm gonna have to look into that and see if that's actually factual, because I'd love to know if that's actually true. But here it is, guys. You know, these are the moments where I keep saying like that. Just remind me to tell you guys to hold tight to the people that you love, because you just never know when they will not be here anymore. You never know when your last time seeing them could be tomorrow. You just never know. Hold tight to the ones that you love them unconditionally, and it's just terrible. Just hearing about this news, like I said again, Ezra Blount, 9 years old, is the 10th victim claimed, the 10th victim from this tragedy at AstroWorld. And like I've said a million times, I really do hope to God Travis Scott is hearing this news too, and he's trying to think of ways to do the right thing, because he has not been making very good choices as of recently. Let's be completely straight funky. He has not been making any good choices recently, and this man needs to step up and do the right thing and make the right choices with the quickness, and not listen to the Kardashians or the Jenners or the whatevers. He just needs to do what his heart is telling him to do, which is hopefully the right thing. So, man, like I said, I'm heartbroken. This is devastating news. It was a young boy that had an opportunity to do the impossible, do the possible and the impossible, and now he is no longer here. So like I said before, and I'll say it again, my thoughts and prayers go out to the Blount family. May this young boy rest forever in peace. And if there's any more information popping off about this, I will definitely let you know about any more victims or any more developing stories about this. I will definitely let you know what's popping off, if something is popping off, right here on the Pascal Show. So do me a favor, before you leave, hit that like button. Of course, do not forget to hit that like button down below, okay? Hit that like button, crush that subscribe button. That would really, really mean a lot to me. Seriously, that would really, really mean a lot. And of course, I got a super chat here. I want to say, Lily Lee, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. She says, thank you for including me on the panel. I appreciated everyone's input, and I pray everyone, I pray for everyone. I pray future events go smoothly. Pascal's the best. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, guys. And I appreciate you taking the time to hop on and put in your input and your thoughts. And this is a tough one, guys. Obviously, there's going to be more tough conversations coming up here soon. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, 9 hours from now, I will be back on to chop it up with all of you guys again. So please, again, if you have not done it yet, crush that subscribe button, hit that like button down below, send those likes all the way up, and I will see you guys very, very, very soon, okay? Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll be seeing you guys in 9 hours. So if you're up at that time, brew a very strong cup of coffee, because we got one hell of a roller coaster ride of a show tomorrow morning. So tune in. I'll see you guys then. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.